Oh yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin all together. Make sure to destroy that like button on your way in. We got over 160 people watching at the moment. How is everybody, legends? Make sure to destroy that like button, and we're going to analyze the situation here all together, guys. How is everybody? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin, which is just absolutely mooning. We consolidated here throughout the weekend, forming a little bit of a bullish pennant, okay, that we are going to label as a possible wave 4, but we could be having some more waves to the upside. Wave 4 of a lower time frame, wave 3 here on the formation, and that we could be going to much higher prices in the next coming days, of course, with our corrections, with our movements to the downside. We'll be analyzing this situation. I remember some people saying that they were interested in short positions in this range and also shorting in this area. but the overall market is very bullish, and all the movements to the downside or onto the sideways formation, it's still very corrective, just getting another leg to the upside. There will be a deeper correction at some point, but for the moment we do have a lot of reasons to believe that higher is still likely. Taking a look at the scenarios from the last, not even days, but weeks, guys, looking at the bullish momentum to continue when we were in the range of $100,000 to hit all-time high and potentially break it was the highest probability on mid time frames, okay, 1 hourly time frame, to the higher time frame daily chart, where the trend and the movements that we got to the downside at the $100,000 zone were extremely corrective, and upside was more likely, okay? More upside was likely. In the last few weeks, guys, nothing much has changed. We're just exploding out pretty aggressively, and of course, we've been talking about altcoins. Make sure to be positioned on some altcoins because a lot of them are going to start popping, of course, because Bitcoin is bullish, and that we will have that altcoin season, which we are starting to get that leg to the upside, as we can see on the altcoin and Bitcoin index. Okay, we are just seeing that first stretch here on the altcoin season index. Eventually, at some point, as we mentioned in the last few weeks, that we are going to see an altcoin season. A lot of the coins are bottoming out. Algorand is stretching its legs throughout the last, few days. As we can see, we were trading here at the 17-cent zone. Algorand was a good buy. A lot of the high cap coins are a good buy, such as XLM, ADA, XRP, Algorand, HBAR. We have ICP, which is lagging behind. This is a good sign. This only means that we are lagging behind, in my personal opinion. This is the zone where you will need to be interested, either to accumulate on spot or get into small swing long positions with low leverage, being responsible, guys. Everything points out that everything is looking good. Bitcoin eventually getting that leg to the upside. Let's go through the comment section. We'll be analyzing, most importantly, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the fuel of the crypto bull market. Okay, we need Bitcoin to continue momentum, to correct and leave that room for the altcoins to actually go to higher levels, right? Which we are going to be taking a few of them today, guys. I do have a few of them that I want to talk about. It's still an opportunity, of course, when you take a look at XRP, XLM, okay? They're already moving up to test those highs from the beginning of the year. In the case of XRP, XLM is also, as XLM is the little brother of XRP, we were looking at this to be corrective, to finish at some stage and get that momentum. Whoever's positioned on the high cap cryptos is definitely very happy at this moment, right? So let's go right away and say hello to the beautiful community. Say hello, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button on your way in, okay? We've been talking about this momentum on Bitcoin and eventually the altcoin index to finally get that reversal. Make sure to be positioned on a few of the altcoins. High caps are better. Low caps, they have their risk. Sometimes they will just pump a little bit. They will kind of die off. But the high cap coins, HBAR, XRP, XLM, ICP also, which is lagging behind, right? You might think, why isn't ICP pumping? Well, when it pumps, then you'll know, well, it's pumping already, right? They do lag behind a lot of the times from the high caps. So it's just a matter of time that they actually get those pumps, as we've been discussing in the last few weeks, guys, okay? This will reverse at some point. It is uncommon to see a Bitcoin season for 5-6 months, right? Usually after 2-3 months, we already get that reversal as this moves in cycles, okay? And we were ready to enter that altcoin season cycle. The question is, will my coin do 100x, right? That's the question on everybody's mind, right? Whoever's positioned in altcoins. But we are looking for, 5x's, 10x's throughout the next coming months, guys, okay? So let's go right away through Bitcoin, most importantly, which is the one that's leading the market. It's the number one crypto. It's the one that leads the crypto bull cycles. This is why we analyze Bitcoin. This is why we look for upside momentum. And when we are ranging, we understand that we are in a corrective structure and that higher prices is likely, guys. Higher prices is likely. We're moving up impulsively, we're moving sideways correctively, and we just look for higher prices throughout the last few weeks. And here we are, guys, already trading above $20,000, looking at that possible projection for this next leg to the upside, right? So you should have been positioned already. You should have been, already positioned eventually on many of these Bitcoin trades that have been provided throughout the last few weeks, right? Several long positions, not really interested in short positions, right? Short scalps, they are fine, guys. We can short as well if we can get in and out, okay? But the movement's down. You can see them already. They're an average of $2,000, right? We haven't had many movements to the downside for many weeks right now on Bitcoin. So if you're a short trader, day trader, that is fine, but realize that getting into long positions eventually is in your advantage, right? It's not too complicated to understand that. And longs were more interesting to look at these bigger swings, small, sharp, corrective moves, little ones, okay, and then continuation to the upside is literally what we're looking for the last few weeks. So whoever's been positioned and longing throughout the last few weeks, congratulations. We've been doing absolutely fine with this market. Spot bags on altcoins are doing absolutely great. Even altcoin long positions should be doing very well throughout the last few days. Guys, I want to talk about a competition that there is right now. I'm going to leave it here in the comment section, okay, because there is a week's trading competition. Make sure to join the Bitcoinsensus team. It's just started today, guys. $900,000 of prize pool. Make sure to join the team. You have it down below in the description as well, guys. Let's do a little bit of noise here with this week's competition that there is right now. It's this one right over here, just under the week's link. If you haven't signed up, make sure to sign up. You get 20% deposit bonus, 25% fee reduction, and join that competition. It is this link down below from the week's link, guys. It's the 5th link, okay? Make sure to join. Let's make some noise. The competition just started today. Join the Bitcoinsensus team and let's absolutely crush it, guys. We can see Devil in the comment section. Let me know if you can hear me, guys, if you can see me. I'm just going to refresh this and see if we are live. Yes, we are. We got the music on in the background. And let's say hello to the beautiful community, okay? First of all, we say hello to the community, guys. And let's analyze Bitcoin. Devil is here. Devil always hops on once in a while. He did a live stream earlier today when he hopped in and say hello to Devil, an absolute legend, a master in trading and technical analysis. LFG, BTC to the moon. Yes, sir. Thanks for the super chat. Let's say hello to the beautiful community, guys, and let's chill out, calm down. On Friday, we did talk about, I didn't do anything on Friday, on the weekend, guys. Okay, very much chilling, very much analyzing this area, this structure over here. And it is true that we talked about the price coming down to come down to these lows. However, guys, I want to explain you the most powerful thing of analyzing a corrective move, because what we talked about throughout Friday, and pay attention here, was this possible wave 4 to form, okay? It is true that on Friday, we preferred deeper corrections. The 115K level was looking very attractive. However, wave 4s can be shallow as well. And, this is the moment that you really see how, the price develops. And it's super important, guys, in a very, very bullish market. We talked about this on Friday. I didn't go live throughout the weekend, guys, but, overall, you are here to learn, right? You might have thought, okay, I was waiting for a deeper pullback based on Friday analysis. We always look for a kind of a zigzag or a sideways WXY corrective structure. And this is literally what happened here, okay? And I want to explain it, and I want to explain what could happen here as well throughout the next coming hours and days, right? But overall, this was the overall speculation. We don't know how the price is going to develop exactly, right? When is it going to break out? But I want to do a little bit of education based on this pennant. For the simple, basic analyst out there, it was a bullish pennant. We formed a triangle throughout the weekend and we broke out, okay, throughout Sunday night and early this morning. Bullish pennant, keeping it simple. when we do have these corrective structures, I literally want to talk about the complex sideways corrective moves, right? According to Elliott wave theory, which, it becomes, very, very simple once you understand it. I haven't been doing much on the weekend, guys. I'm chilling. I'm in Spain. I do the live streams and I do my trading, of course, but, I try and stay away from the charts a little bit throughout the weekend. Let me just give you that education, guys, on how we formed this corrective structure. First of all, let's say hello to, 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽 and the rest of the people. 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽, my man. Hope you're doing well. Jacob, here he is. Yo, 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 the winner of $500. He is here. Still a moderator. So why choose overcomplicated smart contracts when half the nanos of it? Okay, there we go. We got a little bit of a shilling comment here. Guys, how are you doing? Zach, Christopher, who's in longs? Who's bullish? Hello, Suzanne. Much love to you. Yo, 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 Andy Edward, how are you doing? Emma Umar, hello, Andy, my man and his lovely community. Thank you very much, my legend. Much love to you. We got 400 people watching the stream. I guess we can get to at least 200 likes as we speak, guys. As we speak, that we got 80 likes at the moment. We can get to at least 200, guys. Come on, we're over 400 people. We got a nice one today for you here, guys. We're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just correcting down, in my personal opinion. And it does look like that the highs are going to be taken again at some point, guys. It looks like that the highs are just going to be taken again and 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 again, and up we go, legends. Up we go, which has been the highest probability scenarios to take all-time high and beyond if the price action to the downside is going to be corrective, which is just what it's been proven day after day after day. The movements to the downside every time we get a breakout are always being corrective. For the moment, guys, they're always being corrective, and you just look for the highs to be taken again and again and again. Okay, so we want to explain that, which has eventually been explained throughout the last few weeks, guys, ever since we've been in this range, right? It's nothing new. But we're just going to go through the lower time frames, guys, and explain this situation. Okay, so let's go right away through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. Hope you have been positioned, guys. I'm not saying that, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to the technicals. You need to listen to the technicals, because I'm not special. Just like 𝗬𝗿𝘆𝗽 today as well is saying, I'm not a special guy. I've just learned, okay, the technical analysis. I'm not special, guys. I'm pretty much random, but I've studied, I've educated myself, I've been positioned. Maybe I'm one of them that you want to listen, maybe not. I hope that you have been positioned on Bitcoin. You've been taking some nice long positions. You do have Bitcoin in your portfolio, and you do have some altcoins in your portfolio for what is to come, guys. Okay, so I want you to be positioned. I want you to be part of the people that are profiting, okay, in this market, right? This is why you're here. So we're going to be analyzing a little bit here, guys. I'm not sure if anyone did manage to get into another long position in this consolidation that I want to explain. We did not form a zigzag to the downside. We formed a complex sideways momentum, right? When we take a look at Elliott wave theory, maybe it wasn't that complex for all of those people just looking at the simple analysis, which is a bullish pennant, right, being formed and getting that breakout throughout the last 24 hours. So maybe it was not that difficult, right? And you're just jumping into the long positions. Of course, liquidity is something that we like. Liquidity is still people wanting to short as well, guys. So we just climb up to get that liquidity. And at some point, we will get a sharp pullback, okay? But for the moment, the charts are not telling us that, any kind of sharp pullback is likely to come yet. And matter of fact, the probabilities, anybody that is just here to tell me, hey, Andy, tell me what's highly likely, right? To actually get a deeper pullback or actually take out the highs. And taking out the highs is the highest probability still for the price of Bitcoin, right? Just as we mentioned throughout the, all of these consolidations, right? One of the latest ones was this one on Thursday, guys. I mean, this is days ago. It looks like it was weeks ago, but it was just a few days ago. And the highest probability here was taking out the highs, regardless. And then we absolutely exploded. So up and up, guys, still is the highest probability, despite these these movements to the downside, okay? Let's continue through the comment section quickly before we dive in through the price of Bitcoin. We got 450 people watching. We got the like button getting absolutely destroyed. Quick hello to the beautiful community. A quick drink of water. And we dive in through the big dump is coming. Yeah, I know. Big dump has been coming for a long time. For Bitcoin as well. Eventually the dump will come, okay? So you just need to manage risk, take profits, guys. Longs still look interesting. And shorts, my goodness, I'm not sure if any of you guys remember of someone that I felt, I hope he exited that trade. Someone was in a short position from 109k. You don't need much leverage to get liquidated. If we're trading at 120 at the moment, right? Just with a 10x leverage, eventually would have been liquidated already in the last few days. There was nothing bearish about any of this area, guys. Everything was pointing out bullish, and longs were in our advantage. Okay, so I do hope that you guys did take advantage of the situation and understanding the chart analysis. Okay, it's on the charts, guys, regardless of tariffs and all of that. A little bit of noise of tariffs here when we were in this range. We knew that, the charts pointed out the bullishness, right? That was, going to all-time high and potentially, right, depending on the breakout, which was proven very powerful to just continue up, right? Devil, my man, high legends, like smashed, says Devil. I also went in your live today and smash it up. Okay, Crypto Big Brains is here. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍. It is Bitcoin and crypto season, legends. How is everybody? We've got 𝗞𝗍, keep pumping. Matthew here, smash the like up button, my man. Much love to you. Hope you're doing well. 𝗞𝗍, we got Devil, we got 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, Crypto Big Brains. Much love. Take a look at Matthew's channel, guys. If you're not subscribed to 𝗞𝗍's channel already, make sure to do so. Crypto by 𝗞𝗍, CBM. He's an absolute legend. Beautiful content every single day. I broke the like button, says alt-right. Much love to you. Hey Andy, just a quick inquiry. Do you think I have time to get into alts by end of August? Well, you need to take a look at the charts, okay? I would say there's time to get into ICP. If there's time to get into ICP, there is time to get into ICP. Regardless, the small swing long, this is still in the base. This is still in that consolidation. If you tell me XLM or HBAR, one of these ones, Algorand, preferably we do get some kind of a corrective pullback, okay, at some point. If you're not being positioned already, Algorand was one of them in the last couple of weeks that we talked about, saying Algorand is a beast. It's just going to pop at some point. We can't talk about all of the altcoins, guys. Eventually, when the tide rises, right, all of the boats are going to rise. So lots of the altcoins are going to pump. We can talk about 4, 5, 6 altcoins, right? And preferably we want to talk about the ones that haven't pumped yet. So Algorand we talked about last week. It's pumping, guys. I would not want to get positioned here on the pump, as I mentioned always, okay? ICP looks awesome. Still looks awesome. We haven't stretched our legs and broken out of the consolidation range of the last few months, okay? It's still in the range. These bases, these consolidations is where you want to be positioned. Impulsive move, 3-wave corrective structure, finding a base. You want to be positioned, guys, because once it happens, it's gone. It's left the station. We already want to be positioned on these altcoins. Bitcoin trading mainly is fine, okay? We look to get into Bitcoin trades. But regarding altcoins, for swing longs with low leverage or buying on spot, you want to be positioned before the first leg happens. unless we wait for that corrective identifiable structure, okay, that we can identify, then we can reposition or we can add to that position, okay? But we need a confirmation correction, which we are going sideways, no impulsive moves, a bull pennant, if you wish, right, to reposition ourselves. Algorand, it's leaving the station. It's left the station in the last few days. We can see ICP is still in the base. It hasn't left the higher part of the accumulation zone, which is sitting at $6.30, which eventually will happen at some stage in the near future, give or take a couple of weeks or a few days. It's likely going to leave that station, right? Once it leaves that station and it pumps, I do not want my viewers, my followers, my community to position themselves when it's pumping already. I do not want my viewers to get into any positions in the ranges here, on the pump, sorry, and I want them to get in the ranges before it pumps. Okay, so your question, somebody asking me here, will I have time in August to position myself on altcoins? Well, it really depends on the charts, okay? If we are in August and we are still, in this base formation here, on ICP, I would say yes, there's time. But if it is August and we're already pumping and we're in this range in August, I'm going to say, well, eventually it was better to position yourself here throughout this range, right? So it really depends on the charts. Maybe we are going to see a deeper pullback and maybe we're going to range for a few more weeks. That will be awesome because it will give you time, right? It's all on the charts. It depends on the charts, really. Don't forget to hit the like button, fam. Maku, much love, much support here from the community, guys. I have an awesome community. It's absolutely great. I don't have much haters, I have to be honest, okay? Not much haters. And yeah, it's absolutely awesome to see all of those people there. Smash up the like button. A lot of people really are happy, right? Are happy to follow me and are happy to, they appreciate the education. They appreciate the predictions of, Bitcoin breaking out all-time high and going beyond throughout the last few weeks. People that have been positioned on, multiple trades that we've mentioned as well. We're long and strong, guys. Position yourself on altcoins, and we are seeing a lot of the altcoins pop throughout the last few days, and that's what we wanted to see, right? Be positioned, legends. There is going to be some time for some altcoins such as ICP, but there will be a moment that it's just going to leave it. Well, it's going to leave, right? And we will be the ones that will say, we were ready, guys. We were ready for this, right? And we want to be cautious and not getting into the hype later on, guys, because then we're going to see retail coming. We're going to see a lot of people joining, and we already want to be positioned, okay? Which is going to be me and you watching right over here, right? So congratulations to everybody. Got a beautiful community always. Smash up the like button. Appreciate the content, education. I don't think CBM will agree with you on altcoins. I know CBM has been a little bit skeptical about altcoin season, okay? But it's going to come eventually at some point. It's all on the charts. It's all on the chart. We've been talking about Algorand. Algorand did a 2x already in a matter of a few days, okay? Almost a 2x in less than a week, legend, okay? So I don't really care about the hype of altcoin season or no altcoin season. I take a look at the charts and I realize where the base can be. Okay, an altcoin season can do a 3-4x on your favorite altcoin. That's already a good return, guys. All right, that's already a good return. People are, people want to see a 100x, a 50x on an altcoin season. I think we've been, when we know about how altcoins have performed in the past, eventually, we kind of greedy. A 4x is nothing, a 5x is nothing, but it's all about where to buy it, guys. Most importantly, it's where to buy, when to buy, right? That's what we like to identify here, okay, on the channel, on altcoins as chart analyst, right? I'm a chart analyst. And I realize that the altcoin season, right, index, this is a chart. It's all cycles. It's all understanding that this moves in cycles. The moment we get to altcoin season here, this goes to Bitcoin season, altcoin season, Bitcoin season, altcoin season. You know, if we are coming up here in altcoin season and we're trading for a few weeks and your favorite altcoin has not made a 20x, but it's done a 5-6x, maybe that was the altcoin season, right? So I do expect very high prices. ICP, I am betting, okay, to my viewers that in the next coming months, ICP, I'm looking at to reach over $20 and beyond, very likely. Okay. I like ICP. The same for Chainlink. Chainlink above $30. Then we'll have to analyze how we test those highs from many months ago, right? Well, this was last year. Then we'll talk about what comes next, guys. But, you know, what else do you want, right? The projection is really leaning for a big reversal. Then, yeah, we can talk about the corrections and the pumps once they happen. It's all about being positioned, and don't say that you had no time to position, guys. We've had a few months here in the case of ICP to be positioned, you know, in between $4 and $5. You've had time. Don't say you haven't had time. It's just boring. Once it happens, then yeah, well, there we go, right? There we have it, right? We've got many altcoins starting to get that first initial pump, right? Because we have been already in a brutal bear market, guys, and altcoins have not performed throughout the last few months. This has been a brutal bear market, guys. Brutal bear market. And when it comes, it's going to happen fast. It's going to be a few months of big, strong uptrends. There's going to be 5, 10, 20 X's happening. And they are usually just a few months of performance, 2, 3, maybe 4 months. It's going to be quick. It's brutal. And then it's going to be a multi-year bear market again. So this is the moment, in my opinion, to be positioned, guys. And we're already seeing that first little leg up. Okay, you don't want to get excited when the price has done this, guys, right? From a base. You don't want to be excited here. It's just too late. It will continue potentially after corrections to the upside, but then you're going to eat up this. Imagine people that have been buying this right over here. Algorand at $1.30. In the previous bull run, you're late. And if you don't take profits out of 2x or a 3x, you're going to eat up this bear market for many years. So it's the timing that you need to be very good at, guys. And we are good at timing the market, that is for sure. On where to buy, guys. Enter into the base of the pullback, of the corrections, okay? So anyway, let's go right away through the comment section and let's dive in through the price of Bitcoin on the different movements. Possible retracement on Bitcoin, yes. We'll be analyzing that. People are greedy, yes, sir. NEAR still in the range. NEAR is still in the range. NEAR protocol also in the range. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫 is saying so. NEAR is yeah, I know NEAR is a very good project. Still, oh my goodness, yeah, this is just still, it's stretching its legs the last few days. But my goodness, this chart is beautiful. This is a beautiful chart, guys. Beautiful. You got your first leg to the downside, forming a base, a lower high, sweeping up that low, and then another base right over here. 3-wave structure, base, you know, highest probability in the next coming weeks is to stretch the legs, guys. Stretch the legs. So the moment to get positioned. Thank you very much for sharing NEAR here, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫, which is in the base. It's in that range, okay, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. Let's continue through the comment section. Wanted to say here, hello, by AVAX, guys. Yeah, Avalanche is probably one of them also that is lagging behind, okay? Lagging behind, without a doubt. Avalanche could be one of them that is also lagging behind quite a lot, okay? From, yeah, still good on Avalanche. Very, very beautiful chart. Very similar to ICP. But this is the thing, a lot of these cryptos will do similar returns. Some of them will do a 3x, some of them will do a 5, 6x. very, very similar. So you don't need to buy every single altcoin, just buy at the right moment, right? So very strong impulsive move on Avalanche, very clear 3-wave corrective structure, finding a base here. And what we expect eventually on Avalanche is to get that rally in the next coming weeks and months to the upside. Okay, so it's looking very, very interesting for Avalanche as well, in simple terms, right? I had to quit with 1.7 loss in BTC. Okay, was that you? All right. Remember me, I shorted BTC. There we go. We have you right over here, my man. I hope you did cut losses. Okay. We did talk about the price going to higher levels. It looks impulsive. We have no signs of weakness. And I think we were just trading above all-time high, 112, 113K, when you did mention that you were in a short. I just had to say that the price looks very, very bullish. Okay, I cannot help you. I can only tell you that the probabilities are actually going to higher levels. I think you said you shorted here, and I think we were maybe trading above all-time high in this zone, somewhere in this area, I remember. And I was, very, very vocal on it. We're moving up impulsively, right? And if we do just correct, we're just going to go higher. So I hope you did cut losses, and it wasn't too much of a hit. Okay, the only how I can help you there is just to tell you the market is bullish. Yes, 𝗬𝗍, Andy, you love 𝗬𝗍. Let's take a look at some altcoins. A lot of people are like, screw Bitcoin right now. I want to take a look at some altcoins because I know the gains can be done there. I still have $600 in capital. I can still recover. Absolutely, okay? You can still recover. Don't be greedy. Don't be quick in recovering, okay? Just stick to your plan and, have very good risk management. You will eventually pick up, okay? Trading is a long-term game. You look to make consistent profits slowly and consistently, okay? It's not about making the biggest trade right now. And even us in the bear market or on very boring ranges, we still trade the market, guys. We love ranges as well, okay? We love these ranges, right? There's still shorts and longs to be taken. I mainly longed this range. I got into short somewhere in this area, okay, just a few weeks ago in May, right? Almost entering into June. There was a couple of shorts, but I've been mainly interested in longs in this range. Longed here, also longed right over here, still maintaining some of this long. But there's always opportunities, okay? You know that. There's always opportunities. Let's go right away. Continue through the comment section. I mean, 𝗬𝗍 network, guys. Oh my goodness, you need to give me a break here with altcoins. I really want to say hello to the community and see what's going on with the comment section. But 𝗬𝗍 network still in my 𝗬𝗍. Okay, did get a decent pullback here on 𝗬𝗍, coming back down to the base. I think this one will do very, very well. Likely going to recover. And we'll start seeing fireworks at some stage because we're at the base. Good project. Yeah, 𝗬𝗍 looks very, very good. Very, very good for a steep recovery here in the next coming weeks. Buy ICP, sleep for a month. Your loss recovered. There we go, IKA. Yeah, ICP is one of my favorite, I have to say. ICP is Near Protocol is a good project. Avalanche, guys, you get the deal. In an altcoin season, everything rises, right? So, but ICP, I just love this chart. So symmetrical on this correction, and a very, very strong impulsive move up, which is without a doubt in technical analysis terms, right? Looking at elite wave theory as well. We are looking for at least one more leg up here to claim $20. Regardless if it's going to be a fake breakout and we come back down in the next coming months, or we actually continue and we correct and we continue and we correct, okay? But the overall target for this one is $20 in the next coming months, if not weeks, guys. Who knows? When things want to go, they just go very, very quick. So ultimately, that's what we're looking at here, guys. So I think we are going to be living that same season in the next coming months of making easy gains, right? Which only comes once every 4 years, right? Because considering the 4-year cycle, we're still in the 4th year. We're still in 2025, which is the year. Okay, sometimes we're like, is it beginning of the year, end of the year? Well, usually it's the end of the year of the 4-year cycle, right? 2017 was the end of the year when we had the big, massive moves. 2021 was the end of the year when we got the big, massive moves. It's 2025 and it's the summer. So we have many, many months still, guys. And a lot of the altcoins are just screaming, buy me now or don't buy me in the next coming months, because, you know, that's going to be it, right? If I saw the chart and we're pumping, I'm eventually going to say I'm not interested in buying here, guys. There's massive risk. But when I see this chart, I'm saying, guys, you know, this is the moment that smart money is going to get in. Okay, smart money buys low, and this is found a base for many months now, since March. So yeah, it's an accumulation base. That's, you know, this is where smart money gets in. It's an accumulation base after a corrective move down. So I mean, it's just, there's no secret to it, guys. It's relatively simple. Nobody even knows and don't want to know about bananas. Suzanne, much love. Let's go right over here, continue through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. Suzanne, Spitter Ninja, don't fight the trend. There is no reason to short yet. Very true, my man. There's no reason, no big sign of weakness just yet. No big strong moves to the downside with high volume, which is what we want to see, right? Is what we want to see. You can short scalp, guys. You can short scalp, but longs have been preferred. If we break out and we consolidate, we're just looking for more waves to the upside, which is literally what has been happening right throughout the last week since we broke that all-time high. So we just look for higher prices. Let's go right away and continue through the comment section and see what the people say. Just buy ICP, sleep for 1 month, your loss is recovered. I do think a lot of people will recover on some altcoins. Andy, how long can Bitcoin go now? I'm all in and almost liquidated on my long. I'm all in and almost liquidated on my long. How can you be liquidated in a long? You mean short, right? Smash the like button, Sky. Much love. Supra is my main bet for low mid cap. Supra. Many altcoins, okay? Make sure to have a few of your favorite altcoins, okay? Have a diversification of 10, 15 altcoins. You know, I don't think you need 50 altcoins, but you can have 10, 20, right? And have a diversification of high caps, Neo Protocol, ICP, Avalanche, you know, you name it, ADA, right? If they haven't been pumping aggressively just yet. Some mid cap coins, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 is nice. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 is a nice one. Fowler Network, which is a low cap. These ones can do that 5, 10x, right? Fowler Network, make sure I do have Fowler Network, which is a low cap crypto, 100 million market capitalization, awesome project in AI and many other things, right? Such as Oracle. I have Fowler, which is a low cap. You need to have, you know, 5 low cap coins that are very solid, right? No need to have 100 altcoins. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 is a very good payment system project, right? Which I do see it doing very, very well. Okay, not sure what 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 is doing at the moment, but yeah, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 looks very, very good indeed based on the higher time frame, right? We've got a bit of an ascending wedge here formation. We got the nice pump on 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽, very aggressive pump. Very 3-wave structure, finding a base, you know, just as we sweep up that higher low in the last few weeks. You know, a wedgie structure is what we're expecting here to finally get that breakout in the coming weeks, guys. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽 does look very, very good. We ain't going to go too flashy here with, you know, on the lower time frames. It's just very, very good for this downtrend that's wedging out. Higher time frames is most important. Big leg up, very, very, you know, very, very long 3-wave structure here, forming a little bit of a harmonic pattern, if you wish, or an ABC or a WXY, and a big leg up here on your pump, which you would expect that breakout at some stage. Okay, we keep it simple. Still good for accumulation, in my opinion. Okay, it's taking long, but when it goes, it's gonna go, guys. It's gonna go big time, and I hope that a lot of you are positioned. What about DAG? DAG is also good. Still hold some Constellation DAG. I did scratch profits on DAG when it did reach the March highs of 2024. This was explained on the channel, but Constellation DAG, I do see it doing very, very well at also. Okay, let me see if we can load DAG here. Yeah, Constellation DAG, the same thing. You know, I mean, this box is where I expect it to bottom out. This area, Constellation DAG. This is where I bought my DAG. Anybody that's a legit follower from 2024, and some altcoins I didn't manage to profit, guys. I'm holding, which is okay. But this one, the target was to take out those highs from March of 2024. And this is just another secondary accumulation zone, okay, till we actually break out of this larger accumulation of the last few years, right? What we expect on Constellation DAG is eventually at some point to break out the highs of this larger multi-year range. After the pump and dump, the cycle is finished here. We do expect another bigger pump and dump, you know, to finish this crypto bull market, right? So you just want to be positioned, guys. You know, nothing. It's in simple terms, guys. This is why I don't have anything on the chart. I'm not going to talk about RSI, oversold, and moving averages. It's simple, guys. It is really simple when you just put the chart on good projects. DAG looks very good. It's just a matter of time. Ton looks pumps. Empire Trades. Jacob, 8-month consolidation sideways. This pump is just beginning. Solana pump from mega pump incoming. TIA is in a downtrend move for 3-4 months. Yes, also. Let's talk about Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, or ADA, which gets a spot ETF first. Very good question. I would say XRP or Solana. I would keep it off. I think ADA is going to be one of the latest ones, but XRP or Solana, if you ask me here with this super chat. 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽, you are still early, says 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽. On a lot of the altcoins, yes. A lot of the altcoins still on the base. Right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, guys, most importantly. All right. Then we'll go through the comment section. CG what's up? Vaxo, please tell us your opinion about Chainlink, please. Chainlink good, my man. We can take a look at Chainlink later on the stream. Let's get that like button absolutely destroyed, legends. We have to be at least above 200 likes. Let's go. 300 likes is next. 300 like target is next. And let's analyze Bitcoin, guys. What's going on with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is moving up very impulsively, as we anticipated, to at least break all-time high, because there was a bearish case scenario, but the bearish case scenario was forming a three-way structure to claim all-time high and potentially move down. Or the most bullish one, since we were consolidating here the last few weeks, was, you know, literally just absolutely mooning, right? There was two scenarios mainly. Both of them were looking for all-time high to be hit. However, there was a bearish case that was breaking all-time high, maybe topping out at 114 or 117K, and then get a reversal. But we had no signs of that happening. There were no signs of reversal, as all of the smaller time frame movements that we had to the downside were corrective. And as long as this continues and we range till we get that big breakdown, this is why you want to be a little bit cautious when we're longing up here. Still interested in longs eventually. Longs are good, but we want to be cautious on levels of invalidation for the uptrend to continue. Okay, because there will be a moment that we could get a steep pullback. We're going to talk about the bearish case scenario on the higher time frame, guys, which would mean that the top is near or almost in, guys. And the bearish case scenario is looking at the leg up from April, this one, the corrective structure, and now this leg up. So in the most bullish case, we eventually want the bull market to continue in the next coming weeks, right? Which is still the highest probability for the moment till proven otherwise. But if this ends up in a three-wave structure, well, then we have this corrective structure either in an ABC flat or, the highs here. And we're looking at this as a three-wave corrective structure. There was no impulse here, complex double zigzag corrective structure. And if, this, we have to talk about the bearish case eventually, but the bearish case would be an ABC flat, right? Where we form a flat here. And we would be looking at downside to happen in the next coming months, right? Which is something that we need to say is possible, right? Because the hype is starting to kick in. Was this it? I'm going to say no, because a crypto bull market without an altcoin season, without altcoins following, which might be quick, guys. In the next coming weeks, we just might see some altcoins just making a 3, 4, 5x very, very explosively, very quick in the next coming weeks. And then Bitcoin starts correcting down. I don't think that's the case, but this is starting to look a little bit parabolic, okay? A little bit parabolic momentum, which is all good. What we need to consider, since you created the previous high, always when you create a high, you need to consider the possibility of a flat. And why is this flat possible is because you have a three-wave corrective structure here, very complex, a lot of overlap, but there was a three-wave corrective structure here. And this being a three-wave move up as a B wave. Now, most common flat targets is in between the 1236 and the 1382 extension from your A wave, which is literally where we are at the moment, right? So it's just something that you want to say it's possible. If we start getting some deep pullbacks in 5-wave impulsive moves to the downside, that is the moment we can be skeptical about getting continuation to the downside. There will be time to short the market and get into big swings, guys. But we need that first sign of weakness on the higher time frame, on the daily, on the 4-hourly, where we do get an impulsive move down to even consider that this would be a flat. Even though if this is going to be a flat, it would still be bullish, because a flat is a corrective structure and you just look for more upside. So yeah, it will be bearish short term, but we would be looking for big continuation in the next coming months. So a flat is bullish at the end of the day. Why would it be bullish though? Why would it be a confirmation bullishness? Because you cannot finish an uptrend in a 3-wave structure. If you are uptrending and you finish, okay, the last leg, which is this one, in a 3-wave structure, you realize that this is not the top, okay? Because you want to finish in a 5-wave impulse, right? You want to finish a clear 5-wave impulse to say this could be the top if you start correcting down aggressively. But if you move up in a 3-wave structure, which is what we're doing throughout the last few months, and you start moving down aggressively, this movement down will finish at some point and it will reverse, because that 3-wave move up cannot be the top. Okay, so I mean, ultimately looking at the bearish case, but the bullish case is still very much the highest probability, because we haven't got any there's no proof on the chart that we're going to reverse. All the movements up that we've had are looking very impulsively. When we do take a look at the movements that we created from the lows here in June at $98,000, which we were bullish anyway, guys. We were bullish. And this is why I entered a few longs down there okay, I was bullish already here in this low. And I was looking, for me, this was the only catch the low situation. It was so obvious that this was not going to be forming a three-wave structure down. And I was aggressive with long here. I was like, it's time to get into the long here, legends. And all the movements to the upside were bullish. Very bullish impulse, very corrective, ABC flat, very bullish leg up, very corrective structure. We look for the trend to continue, guys. We look for the momentum to continue. This is impulsive. This is impulsive. This is impulsive. We could explode out in the most bullish case scenario, which is basically what we have been proved in the last few days, right? This is getting above 120K. This 𝗞𝗖𝗄𝗍 drawing is getting above 120K when we were trading here at 108K zone. Like saying the most bullish scenario is actually really popping up here based on the impulsive moves that we have. So I just want to provide education right now. Then we go through the lower time frames, which is looking a little bit punchy. We're getting a little bit of a, still corrective. Nothing is telling us that there is an impulse going to be forming here to the downside. Still, we're looking at choppiness, corrective moves. We can analyze the lower time frames here on this price action in the next coming minutes. Of course, I have that priority for the people that are in the Discord or on the Telegram, guys. If you want to know daily updates and not only YouTube, make sure to join the Discord where you have research team. You have the updates on Bitcoin and altcoins, possible trading setups, advanced trading setups. There has been some setups being provided in the Discord and also in the Telegram, guys. And if you want more info on that, join right away. The first link down below, which is join the Telegram community, okay? Or join the Legends Discord, which is the 6th link down below in the description, right? If you want more info on where we're looking at the setups. But first of all, let's provide that education that we talked about on Friday. Why this did not correct deeper, okay, as a possible scenario and look for a long position, right, to get back up to the highs. Regardless, on Friday, we talked about the highs likely being taken based on Elliott wave theory, that we should be taking out the highs here and looking for some kind of a correction, either a steep WXY or a sideways WXY or an ABC. Regardless, we were looking for the highs at 119K to be hit on Friday. And that was all based on Elliott wave theory, which we were looking at this big movement to the upside with the highest amount of volume to label it as a wave 3 in an impulse, right? Because as we do take a look at this price action with the overall general idea of the most bullish case scenario, which is multiple 1-2s and breaking out with the largest amount of volume to potentially get to, 120K, 115K, right? Big move to the upside. And that's what we got. We got the big movement up. So on Friday, when we did have this consolidation, we were looking for a possible wave 4 and get that next leg to the upside to take out the highs. But it is true, we mainly covered a 3-wave structure. We mainly covered a little bit of a steeper pullback, okay? And, very, very common for a wave 4 in this case is looking for a pullback from this pivot over here, which is your next wave 1 and 2, right? Which was actually drawn here with the idea of getting that leg down, not that deep of a pullback, but the next wave 1 and 2 and then the 3-wave breakout, right? Ever since we were trading in this area. That movement that we had, okay, we were looking for a wave 4 on Friday, okay? And let's just keep this educational here, guys, all right, on this little range, because I want to explain what I talked about on Friday, right? We don't forget of what we talked about yesterday. We go through it, right? What went wrong? What was the scenario? What we were looking for. And as we were looking for a deeper pullback, because we just didn't know how this corrective structure was going to develop, it ended up in a sideways corrective structure. Well, what we looked at here, okay, was looking to get, round about this area. And that was all looking at the fib level from this wave 2, wave 3 with the highest amount of volume with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're looking for the larger fourth wave, which is longer in timing most commonly than your wave 2. This was the general idea on Friday. We're looking for a wave 4, which is usually longer than your wave 2, which was longer, as you can see, throughout the entire weekend. And then look for that pop to the upside. So when we did analyze this on Friday, we very much recognized that you had a 5-wave move up in your wave 3 here. Okay, 1, 2, 5-wave up in the blue, as you can see, highest amount of volume. We want to label that as your wave 3. And what we're looking at right now is a wave 4, which is usually shallow in Fibonacci retracement, but longer in time from your wave 2, right? Which is basically what we can see here on the chart. So when we take a look at Fibonacci, right, we prefer the 382 and the 50% Fibonacci, okay? Wave 4s can, in between the 236 and the 50%, be in the golden pocket. You're in validation because wave 4s, you won't see wave 4s coming down to the golden pocket unless it's a contracting diagonal, right? Then if it's a contracting diagonal 5-wave move up, then your wave 4 can hit the golden pocket. But in this case, we were looking at just the classic Elliott wave theory, right? 5 waves to the upside, right? And looking for a general wave 4, which is in between the 236 and the 50%. Preferably, we look for 382 and 50%, right? Just a deeper pullback. And the 3-wave structure was the general idea. However, it was the weekend, and we don't get major big moves in the weekend. It's usually rangy, and that's what we formed. We formed a triangle range. And when we go through the lower time frames here, and we analyze what happened in the weekend, guys, and this is just for education so you can spot that this corrective structure could be finished, right? Because this is getting quite long compared to your wave 2, right? And we always look for a 3-wave move, regardless if it's going to be sideways or if it's going to be a zigzag, okay? And that's what I want you to learn here, so you don't need me on your next possible trading setup, right? At the end of the day, I want to see my viewers go down in the future. That means that maybe you actually learned, right? And you don't need to follow anybody else. So that's the overall the overall idea here. Of course, having great views and everything is fantastic. People want to know the opinion, want to know my technical analysis. But let's go through what we mentioned on Friday, which was the general idea looking for a 4th wave, usually longer in time than wave 2s. It would be nice to get a steeper pullback. However, the market was too bullish and the consolidation was just bullish here, okay? So overall, what we discuss here, just to make you understand, as this is getting long enough, it's already hit the minimum target zone, mainly of a wave 4, which is the 236 Fibonacci. The 236 Fibonacci is also common for 4th waves. That's where we finished our correction, from this leg to this leg. Remember, we're labeling this as our wave 4 just because the strongest move to the upside, which was this one throughout Thursday and Friday, has the highest amount of volume, okay? So that's how we start labeling, what could be next. This is why on Friday, we were looking for this to be a 4th wave corrective structure and overall take out the highs, okay, at some point in the next coming days, which we did. So, but we got a shallow pullback. Why didn't we get a larger correction? How could have I identified this, guy? Andy, right? If you're not live on YouTube or you're not around and I want to get into that trade. Well, as mentioned, what we look is for a 3-wave structure, regardless of zigzag, regular zigzag ABC, or a complex sideways correction, right? Or this could be a double zigzag WXY or a sideways WXY. And that's where you come into play, guys. That's where you identify this without me being live on YouTube or knowing anybody, right? That you don't need anybody, right? to identify this yourself and get into that long position, because we understood on Friday that the general idea is to take out the highs from Friday, regardless, a steep zigzag or a sideways three-wave structure. And the sideways three-wave structure is what happened. And I want to explain that. As you can clearly see, you do have that peak on Friday sitting at $119,000. The first leg down that we had was this one right over here, right? Which we already said, it would be a little bit quick in timing for this to be the low and already come up to the highs. As the weekend is coming, we could go sideways or even slightly to the downside and then get that leg up, right? So what happened here? What did happen is that we did have, and we're going to do this together, guys, just so you can realize where we identify the three-wave structure, okay? So you have that first three-wave to the downside right over here. Then we have another three-wave move to the upside. 1, 2, and 3. So right now we have 2 waves, right? Could have this been the low and we take out the highs already because we have a three-wave structure here? Yes, it could have happened, but timing is very important, guys. Usually you would want to see a wave 4 in this case longer. Most commonly, right, is longer. Wave 4 is longer than your wave 2. So you would want to give it a little bit of more time here for that development. Now, what you need to identify once you have that 2-wave move is that you could potentially form another wave, most commonly to the downside, and potentially take out the lows of this wave. That's when you have a 3-wave structure. ABC or WXY double zigzag, doesn't matter. Larger 3-wave structure, and then you get that leg to the upside to take out the highs as we've had in the last 24 hours. Now, pay attention here, because we have been talking about this corrective, this kind of complex correction, sideways WXY, that does happen in very, very strong bullish trends. When there is big, strong bullish trends, your wave 4s can be very shallow, your wave 2s can be very shallow, and this is what we had here on this wave 4. It was shallow. But note how this correction that we had on Saturday, all right, this is how it played out. You got a movement down, you got to move up, movement down, higher low, movement up, higher low. It's getting squeezed. As you can see, the price action development when we had one wave down, another wave up, and now the sideways momentum throughout Saturday and part of Sunday was getting squeezed in lower highs and higher lows, guys. This is the moment that you need to be excited. And as you can see, from the highs of Friday to the lows to the next pivot high, and then a triangle formation, what you could label this is as a WXY. And they actually happen more than we think, guys. Complex WXY structures, and especially in wave 4s, as they are usually shallow in retracement, and it's very common to see a sideways WXY here, okay? Now let me just talk about that pattern right away, which we do talk about a lot on the channel, okay? Because we did have one just a week ago, and it's this one right over here, where you have a flat or a zigzag down, right? Your first leg to the downside. As you can see, this is a flat or a zigzag. It doesn't really matter on your wave W. This is this first leg down from the highs, and then you get that bounce in a 3-wave structure in your wave X. And then here you can either have a flat or a triangle. This could have done this, boom, 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 and that would have been labeled as your wave Y in a flat. Very difficult, very confusing for many, okay, unexperienced. But the most simple one is just forming a triangle here in your wave Y, right? Which is the one that happened, right? Which, we're looking at a triangle formation, right? To then get the breakout and get continuation to the upside. But when we do take a look at that, that's what happened. That's where the wave finished. The wave finished right over here with that WX triangle. We've already got one wave down. In your wave W, we already got that wave up, which is your wave X. If you form a triangle here, okay, or a flat, that is the moment that you're ready for the next leg to the upside, which is what happened throughout the last 24 hours. We're already shooting up to claim those highs. Okay, so just a little bit of education here, guys, on what we left on Friday. We talked about this on Friday, where there's always a reason behind a movement. There's always a reason of, analyzing the structure. And that's what I wanted to provide right away here with that Friday price action, okay? Now the price of Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a leg down, and I want to see a little bit of proof of support in this area. It's looking quite interesting and getting a nice little pullback for the moment, dropping down. No signs of weakness. We do adjust yet. Okay, we could still label this as a correction, and this is what we're going to talk about right away. What's the S&P? What's the stock market doing? Stock market, I thought stock market would be dumping right now, as Bitcoin is getting a bit of a correction, but it's very much needed, that correction. We've been absolutely mooning here throughout the last few days. Yeah, let's analyze this structure. Right now we are forming a little bit of a nice little pullback. VWAP has been broken. I was looking at this today. Session VWAP has been broken. We haven't got a proper leg down impulsively, okay, for the moment. This is looking very, very interesting. We want to see a little bit of proof of support. For the moment, we do have our first leg down. We got a bounce and we got our next leg down. What we want to see is a little bit of proof of support in this area. This is the zone where I would want to see proof of support, as we do have the largest amount of volume in this leg to the upside. After breaking out of our triangle WXY, we got our first leg up, our corrective move, our next leg up with the highest amount of volume, and now our possible wave 4 corrective structure. And we want to see proof of support in this zone to potentially start grinding to the upside. Now, what would be a sign of weakness for a deeper pullback is eventually looking at this downtrend just ripping here, right? Big breakdown, and eventually your wave 4 formation and then a wave 5. This would be the first sign of weakness that we could be going to lower prices in the next coming days. Have a confirmation, big breakdown here in a 5-wave structure. And then eventually what we want to see is our leg to the upside being corrective, very 3-wavy, very low volume, decreasing volume here as we get that movement up, and then bigger swing to the downside here. Nothing, yeah, we don't have nothing of this for the moment. Movement down still looks very corrective, very 3-wavy. We want to see that 3-wave. We want to see this 3rd wave absolutely ripping here. We want to see it break down another couple of $1,000 to even consider we have our first sign, okay, of weakness, and have a completed 5-wave structure to the downside, okay, on the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame. For the moment, the highest amount of volume is to the upside. This still looks corrective till proven otherwise, which would eventually be breaking down. And since we had this correction, we had our first leg to the upside, either in this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This could be your 4th wave, and then 5. What we're still looking for higher in this case. Yeah, unless we want to label this as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very quick 4 and 5. Still looks good. Still looks good to see proof of support here. 3-wave structure down. still looks relatively interesting to find a base here and get another leg to the upside, okay, in simple terms. So yeah, nice correction. We for the moment we are going to label it as a corrective structure, okay, till it actually gets that nuke to the downside, right, in a big wave 3 here. Then we can start thinking about, okay, we actually might go lower in the next coming days. If we do form this structure very aggressively in the next coming hours, then we could label this as a start of a leg down in an impulse, right, which could still be corrective, or it could be impulsive, right? Could it be the first wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, 5, right? Or could it be an A, B, C, and then back up? We don't know, but we want to see our first initial leg down in a 5-wave structure, and then the bounce can be, we can definitely look at the bounce to see if we are going to see that next leg down, okay? For the moment, there's no major signs of weakness yet. This still looks corrective, and as long as we maintain this area, okay, as support, we're probably looking very likely to just continue the momentum, which is to the upside. Let's go right away and say hello to the beautiful community, see what the people are saying, and we'll take a look at a few of the altcoins. Maybe some of the altcoins are getting a bit of a pullback, some altcoins. But let's say hello to the beautiful community. Lol, Andy started the stream with up and up only. Well, you know the deal. We're getting a bit of a pullback. We need to move down now, okay? So when you do take a look at the daily time frame, it's, there's no big major drop, okay? Still on the price of Bitcoin. But we've been up and up only since the lows here, right? Since the lows, we were talking about all-time high to come next at some point throughout the last few weeks. We got it here on the channel track record, okay? We do leave a track on all-time high, things that we need to see for the bearishness, which we have not seen in the last few weeks, even last few months, guys. This movement down, we were already labeling this movement down since the start of the drop as a corrective structure, and what we're looking for is a 3-wave correction, either in a steep WXY or a sideways momentum move, and we've been bullish ever since, okay? So don't comment based on the thumbnail, okay? Because that is only for traction, okay? Here comes the SFP from the lows. Yeah, I mean, this could be an interesting one. This becomes an interesting one, guys. This becomes an interesting scenario. This level becomes interesting, okay? This one right over here becomes an interesting level. Okay, so I'm going to give that trade setup. SFP from this higher low, from the highest amount of volume. It is very, very common. Very, very common to see that. That is actually where we have the 50% Fibonacci from this pivot low to the pivot high. So are we actually hitting the 50% right now as we speak? So it is crucial, really, for the bulls to maintain this area as support. Possible SFP from this higher low with the highest amount of volume, which is very, very common, guys. It is very, very common. Or even front run it, okay? The clearest example of one of these SFPs was this one right over here, right? Which back in the day, right, just a few days ago, it was the highest amount of volume that we had, where you have a higher low right there, and then you SFP from that higher low that was provided on the Discord. Devil did provide that long setup just a few days ago. So eventually this one right over here, it could front run, guys. It could definitely front run. It could definitely front run because we are hitting the 50% Fibonacci. Now, I would like to label this as a possible wave 4, as explained in the last few minutes. It is true that we have decreasing volume, right? So we have this high amount of volume, large correction, and then this movement up with decreasing volume, right? Which is kind of what you see when the trend is losing a little bit of power, right? The big move happened a few days ago, which was from 108K to 118K, right? Almost a $10,000 move, which is a lot, right, for Bitcoin in a matter of 1 to 2 days. And eventually the momentum to the upside, if it is decreasing in volume, then you know that the highs are getting exhausted, right? And there will be that moment of a big pullback happening just because of the decreasing volume, right? You realize that the trend momentum is losing steam here based on volume, but it's still uptrending. And when we do analyze, I do still think that those highs is highly likely that we take it. And we're labeling these movements down as corrective structures still, okay? When we do take a look at that breakout that we had from this triangle, if you wish, or a WXY, what we do have is the first initial pump, either this one and then this one. Double 1-2 setup is possible here. And then when we take a look at this leg up, legends, you can see how this leg up is the one that has the highest amount of volume. Okay, for the moment, after breaking out from this consolidation. So when you go with the trend and you have the highest amount of volume, you always want to give it the highest chance that it is a wave 3. And when you have the highest amount of volume and it's your wave, you're the biggest breakout with big price action and big volume, okay? You always want to give the priority for it to be a wave 3 and give the chance that what comes next is a wave 4 possibly. And that wave 4, if we're labeling this as your wave 1 and this is your wave 2, but what you want to label this is your possible wave 4. And of course, your wave 4s very commonly, retrace to the 382 to the 50% Fibonacci of your wave 3. 50% Fibonacci is the one that's getting the reaction right now. So you might front run that higher low, which would be beautiful. Preferably you do hit it, but the 382 to the 50% Fibonacci is a very common zone for a wave 4 to bottom out. Okay, and then eventually you look for that reversal back up to take out the highs. So you take that with a pinch of salt, guys. But anyway, the explanation was there. Let's go right away through the comment section and see what the beautiful community says. We're going to label in an uptrend the movements down as corrective, guys, till we actually get the breakdown. But this is why you want to manage risk. You want to have invalidations. You don't want to be holding one of those longs with, adding 10%, 20% of your capital. Oh my goodness, I thought it was bullish. Well, there will be a moment that you will get a breakdown. So you need to manage risk and have invalidations, right? Leave the emotions, guys, away. Leave the emotions away. Check liquidation heat map. I know there's lots of liquidity to the downside, guys. It's insane. It's insane how much liquidity we have to the downside. I mean, no, not that insane. I mean, I have to say, when we look at the daily chart, we got that nice liquidity above 123K. It's good that we see people shorting, which is just going to give us a little bit of fuel to continue the uptrend momentum, right? As we are in a bull market. Eventually, there's lots of liquidity below 117K. Well, there's still quite a bit above 123K. Don't get me wrong. There's enough reasons to get that pump up and take out the highs. Okay, so let's go right away through the comment section and continue right over there, guys. Long still valid. That was not impulse move to the downside. Yeah, I know. I didn't say it wasn't. We still, like I mentioned with the Fibonacci, we're still looking at this as a 3-waver from this large corrective move. We got our first leg up, down, the biggest amount with volume here. The trend is up. We're labeling it as a correction. We took about Fibonacci levels. These scenarios that we talk about were talked about in advance, okay? In the Telegram and in the Discord legends, okay? So if you want that information, make sure to join the Telegram, which is the first link down below. Join the Telegram community right away. You have the link to join right away, legends, okay? Let's see how many likes we do have. And I want to talk about this week's competition that there is going on at the moment, guys. I'm going to... yeah, guys, make sure to join that competition, which is this one right over here, okay, on weeks. Make sure to join the Bitcoinsensus team. We've got over 800 members. This one has only started today. $900 prize pool, $900,000 prize pool, guys. Make sure to join right away. I left it you to join with the this right over here. Join weeks competition. All right, right over here. Make sure to join right away. Let's try and make some noise, guys. Let's make some noise. You got the direct link. If you haven't signed up for weeks already, guys, make sure to sign up with the fourth link down below, where you get 20% cash back, 25% fee reduction, and join the trading competition. Let's make some noise. It's the second link beneath it, okay? I've left it in the pinned comment. Let's all make some noise in this week's competition, guys, okay? So you can join directly with that link that I've shared you down below. I'm telling someone in the chat, and in this chat, not you, Andy. Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about me. Looking at this as an impulse. I mean, we're looking at this to be corrective, guys, okay? Highest probability is that it's going to be corrective, and that we look to take out the highs, okay? Do you want to jump into a long? Well, I'm going to leave that for the viewer. We have invalidation, which is golden pocket. And we look at this to be a correction, just because we have the highest amount of volume in this movement up. After breaking out from this corrective move of the weekend, we got our first leg to the upside, our next leg to the upside with the highest amount of volume. And of course, we label the next wave down as a possible wave fall. And of course, you don't want to overlap this pivot over here, right? Which is your invalidation. So you get the deal, guys. We don't need anything else on the chart, right? Just a bit of Picasso drawing, which is good enough, guys. Picasso drawing was being pretty accurate throughout the last few weeks. But it's all pure measurement and timing of the waves and the structure. And we keep it simple and easy, right? For the viewer. Let's go right away, continue through the comment section. Learning a lot from you, Andy. Appreciate it, says Craig Davis. Much love to you, brother. Thank you very much. Will BTC hit 120K? 100 to the downside? Well, eventually it can. It can. But I like this zone where we're at right now. We are where the highest amount of volume is. There is a little bit of volume strategy on the formation here, right? I like this to be a strong base. Highest amount of volume on this candle, which is this one. A sweep of that higher low would be very, very good for an entry, but we might front run it, okay? It might be front runned. Maybe this is the double zigzag, okay, structure. Movement down, we're labeling as a correction till proven otherwise. When we have the third wave breaking down, then we'll say, wow, well, we've got a first sign of weakness here, potentially, right? Especially if you form a 5 wave, another 4 and a 5, then we'll say, guys, we got our first completed 5 wave down that could give us that weakness in the next coming days. Till we do not get this, we are labeling the movements down, especially when we look at the consolidations and the, waves that we are counting as the breakout wave 1, 2, 3, highest amount of volume. Wave 2s, this was quite long, so we want this a little bit long as well. If wave 2s are shallow in Fibonacci, your wave 4s can be steep in Fibonacci. Okay, this is also what could happen. If your wave 2s are very steep, then wave 3, your wave 4s can be very shallow, and then your wave 5. If your wave 2 is shallow, then your wave 4 can be steep. As long as you don't overlap your wave 1, wave 4s can be steep if your wave 2s are shallow. And the alternative as well, which is most common, wave 2s are steep and your wave 4s are shallow. So if we do analyze the breakout of this structure of the weekend, which is a long sideways corrective structure, then our leg to the upside here, we're going to have a little bit of a scenario here, 1 2 1 2, or all of this is your wave 1 and 2 right there. This is the largest move. The reason why I don't want to label this is your wave 4 and this is your wave 5 is just because of timing, right? Could there be a 5-wave structure being completed here? Based on the timing, it wouldn't be the most common thing for this to be your wave 4 out of the breakout, right? You want it a little bit symmetrical. You want it a little bit symmetrical here. So could this be a 4 and a 5, 3, 4 and 5, and this was it, and you just have a very small 4th wave? This is technical analysis, guys. Nothing is perfect, okay? We try and be as perfect as possible. Based on the timing, it wouldn't make sense for this to be the end of that movement to the upside based on timing, okay? So is it possible? Absolutely, okay? We can't say it's impossible ever, guys, in trading. But looking at the probabilities suggest that after the breakout of this large weekend consolidation, your first leg up, and your first consolidation, your second leg up with the highest amount of volume, and then this, we'd have to label it as a corrective structure till proven otherwise, right? The moment we break down and overlap this pivot, then maybe this was the end and we have to start looking at something else, which will be reserved for the next episode or for the people joining the Discord, right, or the Telegram, that they always get the information in advance, guys, okay? So if you're interested in that, join the first link down below, the Telegram community, all right, where you can join the Signals channel. To get into the Signals channel, it's simple. You just need to sign up with an affiliate link, Bluffin or Weeks, okay, which have great bonuses, and then you'll get into the Signals channel where I'm looking for my next setups, guys, okay? So make sure to join the Telegram. And if you want the education in advance, right, with videos, updates, you got the Discord, which is a little bit more in detail, right, than the Telegram. So very well said. Thank you so much. It's thought holding my hodls, especially in my custody and storage. I just don't want the new bear lows to be 130. Beautiful drawing. Yeah, thank you very much. We try and talk about the Fibonacci, the waves, and everything, even though the drawing might look very, very weird, guys. Right? We had some beautiful drawing here, looking at the possible finish corrective structure. The most bullish case scenario would be eventually breaking out aggressively from all-time high. We didn't know how the price is going to test all-time high, right? This is why we talk about the bearish case and we talk about a bullish case. But ultimately, all of the scenarios that were mentioned in the last few weeks were taking out all-time high at some point. What we did not know is that, will the breakout be aggressive or not, right? That's what we need to analyze once we break out all-time high. But all of the scenarios trading in this zone was looking for all-time highs. This is why I was maintaining, a lot of the long positions that were taken, throughout the last few days, guys. We're looking for all-time high, still holding some of this long position just for the sake of it, guys, Still holding this because we could be heading to 130k maybe in the next coming weeks, right? There's no sign of weakness just as of yet. Once we start getting signs of weakness, then eventually, we want to be cautious. But regarding the longs, profits have been taken, guys, from the last few days, right? Not even weeks, guys, last few days. Latest biggest one was on Thursday, last Thursday, right? Which we got that nice leg up. Very, very nice indeed. Let's continue through the comment section. Say hello. Exciting. Sell or no BTC? It's good. Short 100x, says Phantom. Good lad. Make sure to manage risk. Sorry, Andy, for context, I sold out Robinhood. They will not let me transfer my 88k cost basis BTC. I sold it for fiat, transferred it on exchange. It just settled and I am looking to get my BTC. Crypto walk-in, there's many exchanges. You don't need to use Robinhood or any of these different very centralized ones, okay? That ask for a lot of information. There's many exchanges, guys, that I use that work perfectly. You got Bluffin, one of the best ones right now, alternative to Bybit and, Binance and all of these other ones. Bluffin or Weeks, they are absolutely great. You got incredible bonuses, okay, on Bluffin, all right? And it works just as good, okay? So you got them down below with the links, okay, if you want to get some discounts. Andy, do I need credit card to join the pro community? No, you don't. You do not need. If you want to join the pro community on Discord, you can join. You can join with crypto as well. We do accept crypto as payments. If you want to join the Discord and the Telegram, you just need to sign up with one of the exchanges. Okay, to join the Telegram where I provide my Bitcoin setups. Okay, mainly Bitcoin. I got my analysts that do provide some altcoin setups. Okay, so you just need to join on one of the affiliate exchanges, which is mainly Bluffin or Weeks, guys. And you can join for free. You just need to sign up, deposit some money, and follow the trades if you wish. Okay, and then you're in. So that's for you there, Phantom. Pepe, what are these? Keep long, guys, says Boomer. Thank you, Crypto Walking. You're very welcome, my man. Much love to you. If you have any help, you can always DM me on the Telegram, guys. I do speak to the people that have joined the Signals channel. I do interact with you guys. I do have time to say hello, and if you have any questions, any personal questions, I'll send you voice messages. It is me, guys. I do interact with the people, okay, that join. I'm here to help. So always, guys. SFP now. SFP from the lows now. Yeah, here we go. This could be it. This could be the one. This could be the one from these lows right over here. This could definitely be the one. This might be the one, legends. Let's see if we do not get that breakdown and we do maintain as support. Okay, we want to manage risk accordingly, guys. It's not an all-in. We're missing the bull market. We should already be positioned, right? This is only a day trading setup, okay? So let's see how we react at this zone. It could be the one that gets the reaction. If it breaks down, then so be it. So this could be the higher low SFP happening right now, legends. Okay, let's go right away and continue through the comment section. Right now we've got that higher low with the highest amount of volume, which looks like could be the one that gets the bounce. Okay, legends, it could be the one. So let's see what happens here. Let's go right away. BTC long. Yeah, it is an option. It is an option. Yeah, I would not want to see it breaking down from here. So 120k would be a hard invalidation. This is the zone that I want to see it find support. You got that higher low, which is very common for an SFP. You got the breakout here of this consolidation. Okay. So yeah, invalidation would be this zone over here, and we're looking for the long here. If anybody wanted that. Which indicators do you use most frequently? I don't use much indicators. As we are in, I like to use daily levels. Also, hang on a minute. I need to put my weekly levels here. We're probably coming close. Yeah, we're very far away still from previous week highs, which is 119.5K. I like to use naked point of controls, high volume node on the volume profile. I like to use the daily levels, weekly levels, naked point of controls. But as we've broken out from all-time high, I mean, all of our major levels are beneath us at the moment, which, you know, I'm not going to talk about right now. But when I like to use naked point of controls, daily levels, you know, high volume nodes. But when we are in price discovery, it's mainly Fibonacci, and you know, different wave projections that we could have to the upside, right? So yeah, all of the levels here were great to look at, but when you're in price discovery, you need to kind of really analyze the corrections and the impulsive moves using Fibonacci, right? I mean, on Friday, what we looked at is this to be a correction, and to look for a breakout after a three-wave structure, right? So, yeah. For the moment, we're mainly going with Fibonacci and Elliott wave theory, and we don't have major levels, even though we would have levels here eventually from the weekend, right? You know, you got that Valley area high, and we got the previous day point of control, Valley area high of this range that could provide that base of support for a quick bounce at 119,500, which is the previous week highs as well, right? Which is the previous week highs, Valley area high. This would be a basic resistance support flip. I would expect some kind of a reaction bounce at this zone if we were to come down there. Previous week highs at 119.5K, Valley area high of this entire zone. A reactive bounce would be very, very likely at this zone, okay? But eventually going with the Elliott wave theory, well, you know, we're still looking for this zone to actually maintain our support, right, and get a bounce. So, yeah. Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. What's going on, legends? Let me know. What are your thoughts? Let's go through the comment section and say hello and see what's going on. Is there any altcoins, BTC long, pump it, getting a reaction from that higher low? Shorts are pulling up. They are a lot of liquidity at 118.5K. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. There is lots of liquidity, guys. We don't want to be extremely aggressive, longing, okay, at the highs here. We still have projections to continue up, but we have had an excellent leg up here, okay? I would not long and add to long positions. You can long and have very good risk management, guys. Risk, 1-2%. Look for a bounce. Have invalidations such as 120K zone, right? As mentioned, if it's hit, it's invalidated. It doesn't matter. But this is not an area, without a doubt, to really get into big long positions and just add to the longs and do any of irresponsible trading, guys, because eventually we've had a major rally, and we don't know exactly when the market is going to break down, right, and get a major move down. All right. It's funny because we do get some people saying I'm short. Now, we've had lots of those guys in the last few days. We've had lots of smart short traders, right, that want to detect a top and a fake out from all-time high. We moved up, over almost $15,000 in a matter of, 4 or 5 days. I don't know what these people were shorting with leverage and how were they managing risk, but they definitely had a hard time shorting the last few days, right? So, I would rather wait for the first leg down to get into a comfortable swing short, guys, or, a short that I do realize that I want to get into the next leg down, okay? Very, very hard right now at this moment, considering the bullish momentum, considering that we could be just correcting down again here. It's really, on the lower time frames, the projections are still up. The projections are still up, guys, okay, till proven otherwise. Pump it. Is the SFP confirmed? It is worth a shot. It is worth a shot. It is definitely worth a shot, in my opinion. Hard invalidation, as mentioned, would be this low. I mean, we are moving down a bit aggressively, but this is the zone where we should be seeing proof of support. A lot of people are going to be basing the movement on liquidity. There is no doubt that there is that liquidity, guys, beneath us. Right? Lots of FOMO longs here throughout the last few days. It might just sweep up that last little bit of liquidity here. But you can't really rely on liquidity based on setups. There is lots of liquidity without a doubt. But you cannot base your trading on liquidity. You need to have invalidation levels based on Elliott wave theory, Fibonacci, understand if it can be a correction. Liquidity will be hunted later on if needed, right? Regardless if it's here or here. For the moment, the structure is bullish. Structure is what leads the market, guys, and the structure has been bullish. The structure has been corrective throughout the last few weeks, okay? And the structure has been bullish. This is why we've been leaning for new all-time highs for many weeks now, guys, okay? So let's see if this area does maintain, but yeah, this is it's an acceptable level to bounce from. It is an acceptable level. Higher low, sweep of the higher low, and then look for a rally to happen. Let's go through the comment section. 95k, says Boomer, down to 95k. Took the long from the SFP. What do you think about Cadena? Yeah, Cadena. I still hold some Cadena in my portfolio. I do think that Cadena will eventually rally at some point. Cadena is getting a nice little leg up throughout the last few days. I mean, it has been very, very aggressive. Just at the base of the lows, just getting a little pump. I mean, a little pump. It has pumped, I don't know, what is it? 40% almost, 30-40% in about a week. It's doing good. It's doing good. There will be fireworks at some stage, legends. There will be fireworks at some stage. Just make sure to be positioned and don't get into the fireworks, right? Because you have the risk of this. If you get in, we have the risk of this again, right? So you be positioned at the right moment. Devil called this short accurately to the bone a couple of hours ago inside of the Discord. Absolutely. Devil was talking about this as a short position right there on an SFP on the Discord, guys. A double top formation, and Devil triggered a short position early this morning in the Discord at 122.5k, guys. Purely based on extensions, purely based on Fibonacci. Very, very good SFP double top. Purely based on fibs. And he did call this very, very well on a short position today in the Legends trading community, where you have this guy talking about that. Very, very accurate call from 𝗬𝗚𝘆𝗽𝗍 inside of the Discord, guys. Anybody that wants to join the Discord for that, you know where it is, okay? It's this link down below, okay? In the middle. Join the Legends trading community. Okay, we've got someone saying Fathy here. 𝗬𝗚𝘆𝗽𝗍 provide that short to the bone. Yeah, don't go too crazy here. You know, this should maintain our support. We do have our reasons. It is an aggressive three waver, but this is the area preferably that does provide support. Okay, you also have the option. There is also the option of the trend line. 𝗬𝗚𝘍𝗽 likes the trend line strategy a lot, which is wait for a three wave, okay, structure to break trend to confirm a possible ABC. This is also very, very effective once you have a three waver, okay. Once you have that correction, just for confirmation, because you know people maybe don't want to long the dip, okay, don't want to long here, and you have a three wave possible corrective structure from an impulse, and you know this is also another safe way in getting into the long, just breaking out the trend. Or another strategy eventually would be waiting for the first initial impulse, because there will be a moment, such as the moment now, maybe, that you trying to predict the three wave structure low, and the price breaks down and it forms a three wave, right, for the 4 and a 5, and it starts correcting down. There will be a moment, you know, that people that want to catch the low of the three wave structure, actually it breaks down, guys. You know, this is the risk as well of trying to catch the exact low of a C wave, right, in a three wave structure. If you are moving down aggressively, right, such as now, which is rolling and rolling, and you say, well, this should hold as support, there will be a moment where it's not a three wave structure and it actually breaks down more aggressive than you thought. Or, you know, this is why you have stop losses. You get out. You don't, you know, if it reverses later on, well, it doesn't matter. But this should be the zone that it does hold. But if it doesn't, you need to get stopped out at an invalidation. In this case, we're labeling this as a possible wave 4. You know, if it goes much lower, then in my opinion, we could go to lower levels. So I don't want to be part of that trade. On the other scenario, instead of trying to catch the low on a possible three wave structure, you know, the break of trend is an option, and you got stop loss beneath the last low, because what you would want to see is higher lows. Okay, break of trend and stop loss is the last higher low, because if you move down, then eventually it's not a breakout. You want to get out of the trade, or you wait for the first 5 wave move to the upside, right? You wait for the first leg to the upside that looks quite impulsively, and that corrective structure to then, you know, get into the pump, get into this correction, because this movement up will confirm that this is likely a three waver, because you got your first leg up here that looks impulsive, and eventually the next leg to the upside, what you're looking at is a 5 wave move up. So you want to be positioned in the first leg correction, right? I mean, there's many different ways. You know, getting into the possible C low, that's what happens a lot of the times when you know you are bullish. You look for this to be a correction. There will be a moment that, you know, this could be the third wave down, and it's like, okay, well then You know, you just need to get out of the market in time before it goes much lower, right? Which is fine, right? Stop losses will be hit. And a confirmation for this is getting the first leg to the upside, right? Getting that first kind of leg up in a 5-wave structure could be your confirmation that this is a 3-waver. First leg up, and then the correction is where you want to get in, right? Because what you would be expecting here is a 3, 4, 5, right? Take out the highs again. So many ways. There's the aggressive way, which is long in here, stop loss at, you know, your invalidation, wherever that is. In my case, it would be 120K. If we do hit 120K, I do realize that we could go lower. There's the aggressive one, which would be that one. The most conservative one, which is not catching the low, would be first sign of strength or the break of trend, just to give you a little bit of more confidence that this looks more like a 3-waver. Now you got your first sign of strength, and I'm happy to jump in on the trade later on, right? Instead of catching the low, I want to get the first leg up, and then the correction, that's where I'm entering. You know, there's many different ways, but there's the aggressive, there's the conservative. If I enter in aggressive trades, I usually decrease the amount of capital, and you can always add to the position later on once you get that confirmation. Devil, my man, yes, love the break of trend, especially on a 3-wave structure. Devil, here he is, safe trade. Here he is with that more conservative way of trading, you know, more confirmation. You get into the break of trend after a 3-way structure. Here he is. Somebody was calling you out, Devil, today, that you did an absolute great job talking about a short position today, right over here, based on fib extensions in the Legends trading community. Shout out to you, Devil. The master himself, always looking at epic short positions. Okay, and here it is. I was just looking for it early this morning. Shorting zone SFPs based on fib extensions, right? And you know, you got that beautiful short at the 122.5k zone, which is, somebody was talking about this right now in the comment section, guys. Shout out to you, Devil, on the absolute master right over there. Guys, let's see how many likes we can get. Let's get to 300 likes. Let's take a look at some altcoins I shorted from all-time high, 125x. Yeah, there's been a lot of people shorting the last few days, guys, at 100x, okay? I want to know where they are, because there's always a lot of people commenting, I shorted the all-time high, I shorted here, I shorted the highs, right? I shorted the highs. You know, well, I hope you take profits, right, and be defensive, because, you know, we are very much in bullish trend, and the movements down are likelier to be corrective till proven otherwise, right? The moment we start breaking down, you catch the high, well, congratulations. I want to know those people that try to short here in the last few days. I hope they did take profit. So I shorted that wick, says Devil, absolute legend. How about a pullback early this week towards 111, 113k, and then we resume? It's going to be interesting. I was just talking about this in the at the beginning of the stream. There is a bearish case, guys, right? There is the potential, which would be a really strong reset for the summer, okay? Which is looking at this as a 3-wave move. This would be this will catch a lot of people surprised, guys. Is it possible? Well, we need to see our first sign of weakness, but we are at the fib levels for that possible ABC flat. It just seems silly to talk about this when the market is so bullish, right? But there is a bearish case that we could speculate on as soon as we get a strong 5-wave move down here. Okay, and we realize that this movement down is not corrective, right? Not like this one right over here that was corrective, guys. And this is why we've been, very, very bullish throughout the last few weeks in this range, in between 90K and 100K. Sorry, 100K and 110K. This is corrective, guys. Moving down to the move ups are impulsive. These movements up are impulsive. So we look for higher. The moment we do get on the higher time frame, a strong 5-wave move down for a bigger swing, right? Because these have been mainly swing long positions that have been taken in the last, couple of weeks and last few days. They've been mainly bigger swings to take out all-time high and actually pump. But for me to get into a possible swing short, I need, scalping shorts are great, scalping longs are also great, but for me to get the bigger short trade for a larger move down, I would have to see a strong impulsive move down, all right, in 5 waves. That's the moment, if we move up correctively, right? If we move up impulsively and move down correctively, I'm going to look for higher. If we move down impulsively and we move up correctively, I'm going to look for a next leg down. So throughout the last few weeks, I've been speculating on this next leg up to take out all-time highs. This is why mainly longs in the last couple of weeks have been priority to look to take out all-time highs. And for swing shorts, for the moment, it's not a major plan, and it doesn't really matter because catching the high or not for the short, it doesn't really matter. We want sign of weakness for the bigger swing shorts, right? Bigger sign of weakness. Legends, remember, guys, that you do have awesome bonuses on bluffing, also on weeks. There is that trading competition on weeks, guys. Make sure to join the Bitcoinsensus team. It is the link in the pinned comment. If you haven't signed up for any of these exchanges already, you got the second link for bluffing, okay? Cashback of 20% and weeks, where there's that great competition at the moment of 900K bonus, okay? Prize pool. Got 20% deposit bonus and 25% fee reduction, and join that competition, which is in the pinned comment, guys. So take advantage. Links are down below. Second link or fourth link, bluffing or weeks, they're great. Join weeks because there's a competition right now. You can join the team. Let's go. So close to invalidating. Yeah, for me, that long is close to invalidation right now. Very, very close. If I wanted to label this as the possible way for, it's very, very close to invalidation here on the structure. Almost going to be hit. Preferably that golden pocket is not hit, and it's just about to get hit right now. So yeah, not looking too great. Not looking too great. It was a great idea, but we are moving down. There was the highest volume here in this movement after this breakout. So yeah, it's just moving down very aggressively. And getting to the golden pocket. Your hard invalidation, to be honest, is these highs right over here. If you are looking from a large corrective structure, an impulsive move, your wave 1, nice flat in this correction, your possible wave 3, your proper hard invalidation is overlapping your wave 1, right, which is 119.5K. But hitting golden pocket already is very, very rare for a wave 4. Let's leave it that way. So it would be, for me, already hitting golden pocket is really an invalidation. Doesn't mean that you cannot get a bounce, because golden pocket many times gets a bounce. But when you analyze Elliott wave theory here, it would be your invalidation for a wave 4. But your real hard invalidation is overlapping the wave 1. Really. Let's see. El Professor, Andy the Legend. Hola. How are you? Saying BTC goes under 100K for sure, and all BS made me to lose all opportunity. Who's that? My goodness. Hamid saying, who's that? Me? Saying BTC goes, hi brother, from the time I listened to you, I was doing fine until you told us that Matthew is good. And by listening him, lost a lot of opportunities because keep talking about summer BS. Okay. Yeah, probably talking about summer range, right? Hamid. Matthew is great. You know, we've been talking about mainly bullish trading setups, but many different people talk about different strategies, different areas. I've been leaning mainly on Elliott wave theory, and that, just analyzing the structure from this range of the last few weeks in June. It was very, very corrective, and the movements up were very impulsive. Regardless if we would have taken out all-time high and then got an SFP or not, we just didn't know. I didn't know that the price was going to SFP or get a successful breakout. What I did know, that it was highly likely that we were going to take out all-time high at some stage, realizing the corrections down and realizing the impulsive moves down, as explained, right, in the previous videos. So, we could have SFP'd after taking out all-time high and got back inside of the range, but I don't know. I've been bullish ever since this low, calling for all-time high, and this swing long I did still maintain a bit open, not huge amounts, but if I closed right now, it would be another 10k profit, which would be absolutely awesome. I'm just going to leave it open just because we're bullish. But I did take significant profits from this long already. And the same from this latest one a few days ago. Profits have been taken. We'll leave some open just for the sake of it, in case we go to higher levels. But I do get it. It all depends, We've been bullish mainly just because we were moving down correctively, right? Then you take that with a pinch of salt. We've been leaning more on bullish case scenarios, regardless if we would have SFP'd from all-time high, at 114k or 115k. We just didn't know. But the overall scenarios were looking for longs, understanding the market structure. So he's a great guy. He's got great information. He's a great trader as well. He's got a very successful community, getting into very good trading setups. But it was just an idea that the summer probably could range, okay? As usually summers are very, have low volume. But anyway, we did understand as well that July and August, post halving years, they've been very bullish, July and August. And it doesn't mean that it has to be bullish, but when we take a look at 2016, which was the halving year, this was in the red, but post halving, which was 2017, July was very bullish and August even more bullish. And then in 2020, the same thing. 2021, July was bullish and August was bullish post-halving. And especially when we've had a crypto bull run that hasn't been performing like massive rocket to the upside, what usually happens in the 4-year cycle theory, right? 2017 should be very, very bullish. It was bullish. 2021 should be extremely bullish. It was. Right, that's when we had altcoins absolutely popping, Bitcoin all-time high, also in Q4 in November peaking out. And when you've had a crypto 4-year cycle bull run that hasn't been performing so great in the 4-year cycle theory, which is 2025, maybe July and August could end up bullish. Anyway, it was just a theory looking at the 4-year cycle theory, right? Post-halving, July and August were very, very bullish. And for the moment, July has been very bullish. for the moment, right? So anyway, it's just different opinions. We can still trade the market, and he's very, very good at trading, okay, I have to say. Anyway, on that comment, no 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗁, brother. Yeah, I know. Anyway, where is the risk management? Matt only risked 1% on the short. Yeah, exactly. I mean, did Matthew log onto this guy account and trade for him? My guess is no. I mean, exactly. You know, he's a very, very successful trader. So don't fear, right? I didn't know that we were going to break all-time high aggressively. I knew the probabilities were likely going to hit all-time high, and the most bullish case eventually is looking for a big wave 3 breakout. So we need to adapt. If you have any longs here or have any longs here from last week, you want to have some open just to maximize that extra push up that we've had in the last few days, right? Try and maximize it, as the pumps that we're getting are impulsive and the movements down are corrective. You know, it's on the chart, right? If you have a 3-wave structure and you move up impulsively, and that's corrective. This movement up was very impulsive. There's a clear 5-wave mover here. If you form some kind of a triangle or something, we're either looking at a WXY, right, break all-time high and then dump, or we're looking for a 112 and we break up. There's just no more to it. So we want to try and long these corrections, right? We're going to try, well, this was a swing long eventually, speculating on a 3-wave structure, big swing long. And this one was more of a day trade long, little swing trade to take out those highs. Take profit 1, leave some open, take some more profits as we go higher. Regardless if we're going to range or not, still, we can still, you know, if you're shorting, you just want to be very good with your shorts, have invalidations. You know, don't have shorts that you're adding to the position. Don't have longs here that you're adding to the position. This is no level to swing long, guys. Swing longs were taken. Swing longs are taken. And profits have been taken. Just be very, very cautious. This is not a zone to get into swing longs. No. Dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see that like button getting destroyed, legends. And let's continue through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful noob question. What does SP stand for? SFP, right, at the moment is front run the SPs. SP support, SP, SFP or SP. SOW is sign of weakness. SFP is swing failure pattern. S&P is the S&P 500. So yeah, we are breaking down here, guys. I was in a long position, got stopped out. I am out of this long trade. Okay, it was a good idea, but we're out of the market, guys. Nothing else to be said. It was a good idea of a trade setup. It is aggressive always to try and look for the bottom of that C wave. Sometimes there is better ways of getting into the trade, such as waiting for the first impulsive move up, and then you look for the higher low. The idea was not bad. You got a long consolidation here, first leg up, boom, boom, the largest leg here with the highest amount of volume. I wouldn't want to label this movement as a wave 4. You know, if this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you know, it's too small. You could be forming right now a kind of a, if you were to form a higher low here and you get an epic bounce, expanding moves, they are very, very rare. Yeah, I'm gonna have to analyze the situation here and update the Legends community based on what am I looking here for next. But I did get into a long, got stopped out. We could get a really nice bounce here locally just because we do have a little bit of an order block. I mean, it all depends on your style of trading, right? Bit of an order block right over here. Golden pocket still zone. It is the golden pocket zone still. So you got order block right over here and golden pocket, which, eventually this could hold and get a bounce. But it depends on your style of trading, right? I'm looking for bigger swings at the moment of movements of a few $1,000s. Right now, I need the price to really chill out, find proof of support somewhere. This is moving down a bit aggressively, right? A bit of a falling knife situation. We need to form a little bit of a range, and then we can analyze the scenario, okay? If we were to move down here in another leg like this, we consolidate, we form 5 waves down. I'm going to wait for the price to, really form a little bit of a structure. This could be a massive falling knife, and it's a massive third wave, which I don't want to be part of, right? Trying to long this dip because I don't know where it's going to finish. So trying to long, without having proof of support and finding a base, right, where you can then long, right? You're finding support, proof of support, you find a base, then you look for longs. When you're breaking down all of the support levels, there is that potential of this breaking down, in a third wave, right? Which is literally what's happening right now. So it's just moving down. I don't know where this is going to find support, right? And it can be a wave 3, and generally wave 3s, can hit the 1.618 extension. They can hit the 2-to-1 extension. They can hit the 2.618 extension. Wave 3s can be extremely aggressive. So you just don't know which one is going to be the one. Now, the 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 3, 8, 2 is common for ABC. So could this be a 3-wave structure? You're going to get supported here in the next coming hours? Possibly, yes. But the best thing to do is wait for a structure, support, a range formation. And of course, if this were to form, okay, a corrective structure, a bounce that looks very corrective, and then gets another leg down, we could be seeing our first major move down in an impulse, which we have not had throughout the last few days and weeks, okay? So for the moment, we could have a wave 3 formation here, guys. If we consolidate and then we get our next leg down, then we have the first 5-wave move to the downside that we've had in many, many days, right? In the last few weeks, all of the movement down have been 3 wavies, sorry, right? Double zigzag, ABC. Maybe we are going to see our first 5-wave down. If we consolidate in the next few hours, okay, and we then get on our next leg down, we could definitely label the first 5-wave, okay, impulse to the downside that we have not seen throughout, the last few days and weeks, okay? And then this next move could be a correction and we get a stronger leg down. And that's what I would be interested in, right? I do realize that this could be our first major sign of weakness, our first wave down that is not corrective and could be impulsive. I first need a sideways corrective structure and one more leg down. So yeah, it could still be a 3-waver. And what we're forming here is, something different. It might still be corrective. We need more information. I mean, the long speculation was not bad, guys. I have to say, it doesn't matter. Long speculation was not bad here. You just need to be out of the market, because this could be a wave 3. Risk management is the key here. Risk management is your best friend. Have stop losses. Don't be emotional. Don't add to positions. It's going to reverse at some point. That's when people get burnt, right? And I hope that man, who did join the stream, he did say he cut losses at $1,700 or so, but somebody was in a short position, and I was just making him realize that the market's moving up very impulsively. I would exit as soon as possible and just stay on the safe side, legends. Single prints. Yeah, that's right, Lucifer. Single prints. SP is single prints. I don't usually use single prints. I don't usually use them for trading. No bounce, stopped out as well. Exactly, yeah, guys, it's fine. Getting stopped out, okay, is very much needed. It's fun to talk about stop losses as well, even though not many are hit. But when they hit, it's fine, guys. It's just part of the game, right? Part of the game to be stopped out. It's been an epic few weeks, guys. The money made has been pretty insane. I prefer bigger swings than scalping, guys, at the moment. Scalping can be very stressful. There's easier swings to get into, right? There could be our first swing short confirmation between today and tomorrow, guys, depending on how this movement down is developing at the moment, right? We've got our first sign that maybe we could be forming our first impulsive move down. Of course, we need a correction and then another leg down on the lower time frames. That could be our first major sign of an impulsive move down. I don't think that we will be forming an ABC, guys, here in a flat on the higher time frames, but it is the most bearish case scenario that is left, okay, which is a move down correctively here, which was very much easy to identify, as we did have the Q1 of 2025. Lots of overlap, okay? We didn't look, this did not look impulsive at all to the downside. But now we have a problem, which is corrective structure down and a three-wave move up. I mean, it is bullish still till proven otherwise, but there is a bearish case, which is an ABC flat, guys. This would only be bullish long term, because if you move up in a three-wave structure and you get an epic pullback, you would still expect this high to be taken unless you moved up in a contracting diagonal or something, which is not the case, to finish that wave up. So in a nutshell, this three-wave move up, if you get steep corrections in the next coming weeks, it would still be bullish to look for a reversal and take out all-time highs with an impulse, because you do not want to, you literally can't finish the highs at it with a three-wave structure. Okay, so you would be looking for an ABC flat with the potential to take out $75,000, which would take everybody as a surprise here in the next coming months. I don't think this is the case, guys, but we can talk about this scenario more once we get our strong first leg down in an impulse. Once we get our first major impulsive move down, guys, then we'll start talking about this being a possibility. But for the moment, guys, big bullish move, corrective structure, still very bullish waves to the upside, and it does look like that continuation to the upside is likely for the moment. Okay, so yeah, not much more here to be said on this latest move up. On this latest move up, where we are getting a reaction in this order block. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get in a call with 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽, and we're gonna analyze the different structures here. Well, this is corrective without a doubt. I just have an issue right now with, you know, this eventually not being a wave 4 or anything. You know, could have this been a 4-5 right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, a small 4 and a small 5. Not liking it too much. So what I would be looking at right now is the first leg up. If the first leg up here is going to be impulsive, I would be interested in a long. On the correction, if we are going to correct here and then take out the low, then the bounce will be interesting if it is going to bounce in a corrective structure to then get a stronger leg down. So there's going to be information that is given in the next few hours that will give me my next trading opportunity, my next trading setup that I would be looking for with the next information, okay, that is going to happen in the next coming hours. Of course, if you want more of that from myself or from 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽, you do have the Discord, or you do have the Telegram, which is literally talking about the setups directly, guys. It's the first link down below. And make sure to join the week's competition, guys. There is a trading competition. You have the direct link to join in the pinned comment, guys. Join the week's competition. Join the Bitcoinsensus team, all right? Which there is a great prize pools, okay? Over 800 members right now. You got the direct link down over there. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Thank you very much for smashing up the like button. I hope you do enjoy the education. Much love to everybody, okay? I did go through a lot of the comment section. Thank you for selling 𝗬𝗍𝘂𝗿 account. I long the dip. There we have the battle of the bulls and bears. Who's been long in the last few weeks, right? In the last few days with us has been making some very epic gains, okay? All right, taking most of the profits on these longs. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and I will see you in the next one.